Hey, guess what? We're live.
Hey, guess what? It's just the Sky Kid. We're at Palace de Reno. It's Thursday night, and the video prior to this one is the performance video of Candace Griffin. So, Candace, welcome.
Thank you.
To start things off, you are from Janesville, correct?
Yes.
And how long have you been playing music and your own thing?
I guess I started, seriously doing music maybe almost a decade ago. Started playing open mics around Janesville and just slowly snowballed, I guess you could say. And I was in a band for a while, about, what year is it? I don't even know anymore. I was in a band for a couple of years, but I guess I've been solo for the past years now.
What made you jump from being in a band to wanting to go solo?
Well, it was a very special circumstance with very special and incomparable people. So I guess I started off kind of doing my own thing and like writing songs and performing and stuff. I was in a couple of duos a few times, but it was never anything really serious. But once I started doing open mics, I just fell in with these group of people, and we would hang out in one of their basements and just play our songs for each other. And then it just got to the point where like, hey, we're a band. We should be a band now. So we became a band, and that band was Pancake Riot.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then what made you transition then to wanting to do this again?
Life happened. We went through like a couple of lineup changes because life happened. You know, people would move or have family stuff going on or whatever. And when it came to it, I moved away for a little while, and that kind of ended it for good. And we all were performers and songwriters to begin with, so we always said that we never wanted to like keep anyone from doing their own thing. This was just like a special thing that we had together, and that was just really fun, and we rode that ride for a long time. So we've always kind of all had our own little things branched off, but yeah, life happened, and I moved away to Tennessee for a while and was on my own, and yeah, here I am.
Came back here.
Came back here, and people are so confused, but I did.
But you came back here for a reason, and that was, it would seem, to grow and continue your growth. So since the past 3 years, where have you started from and have continued to grow? Tell us about that.
Well, basically, I'm in Janesville a lot, and there's just a really special community of musicians and performers there, all different genres, but we all kind of look out for each other and support each other. So that's why I moved back, basically, because my friends are here, and I liked that I had that support by other, peers, basically. So I mainly performed around Janesville and Madison some. I got the chance to play Summerfest this past summer, which was crazy. And I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't come back and started playing around with people I know here now. So I really owe it a lot to my friends in the area.
How did you get onto the Summerfest gig? Like, tell us about that.
Oh, it's crazy. I still don't believe it happened, but it happened. So not this past spring, but last year I went to an audition. Party Marty was on here. He's affiliated with the Ground Floor stage, and last year I went to an audition in Waukesha, and they ended up picking a bunch of different bands like Green Noise and yeah, they're awesome. So I'm like, yeah, of course you picked them. So I was a little discouraged because I was like one of the few like solo performers. So I'm like, well, I kind of stink without a band, and just whatever, carried on. But this past March, I think I was I went to an audition that was just for soloists and duos, basically, because Marty had told me about it, and he's like, hey, it's just for soloists and duos, and they'll remember you. We'll appreciate that you came back. So I went back, and ended up picking a few people, and I was one of them, and I actually had never been to Summerfest at all before that.
How cool!
So it was like a double awesome thing. So yeah.
Great! What other fests have you done? Have you done Marty's Fest?
I did Glacier Valley, yes, that's my first festival. Yeah, that was in June of this year, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope to go back.
Awesome.
So really just the two, basically.
Yeah. 2 big ones.
Yeah.
So as far as like goals and where you continue to see yourself go, what else do you want to do?
I'm such a bummer when it comes to stuff like that, because it's not that I don't have the work ethic, but like my creativity comes like in spurts. So I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go and do this, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do nothing for a while. But basically, I just have a lot of music that I've written, and I'd like to record that and perform that for whoever wants to listen, and play wherever people will have me, and we'll see what happens. I don't really plan on taking over the world or anything, so.
When you're not doing anything, aren't you really doing things?
I guess. I guess.
In your downtime, I'm guessing you're writing music.
Sometimes.
You're recorded.
Yeah, I wish I was one of those people that could like record themselves and like was sufficient on their own, but I have recorded a couple of albums with friends, and then also the last album and the current album I'm working on, I've done at Gemini Music Studios in Janesville. My friend Dec5 is a musician and producer and runs a radio station there, and he really looks out for local artists, so that's been a lot of fun going to work there.
Awesome. Have you, since he is on a radio show or radio station, have you been on the radio?
Yeah, 103.5 FM WADR. It's a limited play station, so if you're an inch outside of Janesville, you probably won't pick it up, but it does stream online.
Mm-hmm.
So on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock in the Stratosphere is Derek's show, and he plays local artists. I'm on there quite a bit, so hi Derek.
Have you, besides doing that show and here, have you been on any other type of broadcast or radio show?
I think, the Jimmy K show in Madison, they played a song of mine once, because Karen from the Live Decker show is a friend, and as far as that goes, I think that's it. Maybe like a couple of things like this were nowhere near as much of a reach as you guys have, so we'll leave it at that.
That's neat.
Yeah.
What drew you to want to do this?
This particularly?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I've always just I'm very shy and like quiet, and usually I did theater in high school, and I still do some community theater, and I guess doing stuff like that and music is like one of the only ways I express myself, really.
Okay.
And I don't feel like I'm really good at anything else, so I'm just happy to do it. I don't know if it'll ever be like a career or like a full-time thing, but it's just what I'm happy doing.
You're going where it takes you,
yeah,
hey?
loosey-goosey.
So you do sing very beautifully. As you were performing, I was like, you remind me a lot of Jewel. I'm like, oh, it's beautiful.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said. Thank
Really?
you. She's a big inspiration.
I could hear it.
Yay, thank
Good.
you.
I'm glad I hit the nail right on the head, because it was going to be, what are your inspirations? What
That's
makes you?
one, yeah.
Who else?
Sheryl Crow, Michelle Branch, Alanis Morissette, Lisa Loeb, and basically like your Lilith Fair set.
So Candace wants to play Lilith Fair, just so we know.
Yeah, they should bring that back.
When did you start playing guitar?
It's actually really funny. We were talking earlier about clarinets and saxophones and stuff, and when I was in middle school, I played the clarinet and I sucked at it. And the high school's jazz band played. I'm like, they're so cool. I want to be in the jazz band. And my teacher was like, clarinets aren't in the jazz band.
Right. How bullshit is that?
He's like, you can be in
It's
the
true.
Dixieland band or the German band. And I'm like, that's lame. I'm going to learn to play electric guitar. So my uncle gave me his old electric guitar, and it sat in my closet for like 2 or 3 years. And then I guess the music I was listening to when I was 12, 13, I just picked it up and taught myself some chords, and sang my whiny poetry to these chords and just went from there.
So, did you write before you played?
Yeah.
There's a lot of air quotes going on.
Yeah. I mean, I would write, like, poetry, and I always liked writing, like, fan fiction and stuff. I have a cousin that we would just write stories all the time. So I've always liked telling stories, and I've always expressed myself through writing most eloquently, I think. So, yeah, I kind of wrote before, but once I was able to, play guitar well enough to, have something to play it to, it definitely got a lot better. So, had some life experience and the songs got a little better.
Right,
So.
I was going to ask, where does the inspiration for your songs come from?
Usually it's when a boy doesn't like me back.
Oh.
No, it's about life, and usually whatever touches me the most, and usually that's unrequited love and friendship and traveling and just deep thoughts and stuff.
Have you gotten to travel with your music?
Not a ton. I've gotten to play, throughout southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. When I lived in Tennessee, I played a few places, but nowhere, like, too far outside of where I lived. Mm-hmm. So I've done a little bit. I'd like to do some more, and I think it might happen sometime soon.
Do you think you'd pick up and just go on tour? And what would that look like?
Would absolutely love to someday. And I'm actually talking with our friends, Kat and
I was going to
Hurricane.
say, she just got a van.
Yeah,
so
she sure did.
I think they're
it's
going to...
a great van. They're planning a spring tour
Yes.
in March, and I might be tagging along, so hopefully that works out, because that would be a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when you have shows, because, since you've met us, online, I see a lot of your stuff all over. It seems like you play out a lot. How often are you playing out, and when you set up a show, how, does that process work for you?
Well, this year, I've definitely done a whole lot more than I ever done, and this winter, I'm like, okay, I'm going to slow down, and then stuff kept happening, so I'm like, okay, may as well just keep going. Usually places I play at is either, I've been to a show at the venue, or like my friends recommend a place, and just gingerly reach out and be like, hey, I'll play here if you let me. And I'm not very like, here I am, come listen to me, I'm great. So it's kind of hard for me to feel confident in reaching out to venues or whatever to play, but basically I ask, and if they say yes, I play.
So are you saying your biggest hurdle to overcome is yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah. My mom's watching and she's like, yep, told you.
So is mom the biggest supporter?
Definitely. We lived up here in Wisconsin for a long time, and then we moved back down south where our family is. And when I lived down there, I tried to make it work down there, but my whole family really could see that I wasn't quite happy. And so when I finally said, hey, I'm moving back to Wisconsin, they're all like, okay, yeah, about time, we know. And like, that was such a like relief, because here I was thinking that they would, be mad at me or not understand, and really they understand more than I ever thought they would. And my mom's definitely the biggest support, so hi, Mom.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you
really lucky.
Within this past year and having played a few big things, do you think you'll go back and try to do Summerfest again?
I would love to. The ground floor stage was great. They really took care of us, and I had a good time, and I'd like to maybe try some other stages as well. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to go back, and I'd love to go back to Glacier Valley, and there's a couple other things I have my eye on, so we'll see if that happens. Mainly the big thing that I'm looking at is there's a big art festival in Huntsville, Alabama called Panoply.
Ooh.
And that's at the end of April every year, so I'm looking into applying for that and maybe seeing if I can work my way down south and maybe set up some other things. So we'll see if that happens.
So when you are playing shows out and about, what does the makeup of that show look like? Are you playing primarily with other singer-songwriters, duos, or are you usually like like Joe, I start off, and then there's other full bands that take the stage?
It's usually just me, very much like we saw tonight, but I'm very lucky and I have a lot of very awesome, talented friends that like to tag along. So my friend Kat will often be there singing, playing bass or guitar with me, and a lot of times she volunteers Cat and the Hurricane to play with me. So if I play with the full band, it's usually them, which I'm very happy to do. They make me sound really cool. Really, really cool.
And have you played with them with their new lineup?
This weekend we have a show in Chicago, and that'll be the first time with Alex.
Mm-hmm.
So we practiced earlier this week, and it sounded so cool. So I'm really excited.
That's great. Have you ever had, and like the other people we know that have really spoken very highly of you have been like Elmer and the Ceramic Trees. Are you playing out with Robbie?
We've done a couple of shows together, and he was in Pancake Riot, so we used to play together.
We should get a reunion since they've all been on the show.
Hey guys, I'm up for it, but you know, Kat and all that she's done with Cat and the Hurricane, she's just shined and blossomed with that, and I wouldn't have her doing anything else. And Robbie has really come a long way with his stuff, so I'm really happy to see what he does. So if them doing their own thing is what they want to do, I am totally there for that. But if Pancake Riot ever wanted to get back together for one thing, I'd be happy.
I think that would be a pretty neat little thing, since all of you have grown and changed. It'd be quite probably a very full, mature sound.
Yeah, I mean, we were always kind of like an not odd, but like an interesting mix, because basically we would just play our songs. So like songs that you've heard from Robbie, we'd all play that. Songs that you've heard from me, like my last song that I played, we would play that. So we just basically added the spice to each other's songs. So you'd have like a very indie pop sound from Kat, you'd have a really like, you know, rock, country, pop sound from me, and then you'd have Robbie, and it'd just be, what genre are you? Yes, we play music.
All
genre.
We play music.
We play music. So we were really hard to describe, but it was definitely pretty special.
And we know too, Carly M is another supporter of you.
Dear friend.
How about the Red Flags out of Janesville?
Red Flags, they are some cool kids. Definitely saw them play a bunch and just got to know them from going to their shows, and they're really cool.
Where has it been the easiest to play?
Well, my first gig ever was in the corner of a Dunkin' Donuts. So that was pretty easy. The easiest, I guess, is just those odd little places that you don't really think are great for music venues, but they want people to play there. So just ask around. You never know who's going to be open for stuff. So I like odd, out-of-the-way places.
So when you set up your own shows, like, hey, I want to play on this, is it because you've seen a lineup and you want to jump on it? Or are you then setting up a show around, like, I got this venue, I'm playing tonight, and seek out other performers?
It's really been pretty much anything that could happen has happened.
Okay.
You know? I have a lot of people that are, you know, booking things, and they're like, hey, come jump on this with us. And I'm like, sure. That's usually what happens, but sometimes it's like, hey, this is a great space, maybe we can do some music here, and owners and managers have been very open to that, so yeah.
You've played in Madison.
A few times, yeah.
And is that an easy town to perform in?
I think it is if you are willing to go and support other musicians there.
What's that?
I know, right? You go and you meet these other people, which there's amazing talent in Madison, and you know, get in line with them, and they really, once you're in with them, like, they really open a lot of doors for you. So I've gotten to know, like, Karen Wheelock, Dana Perry, a bunch of people in Madison, and they've really opened up a lot of doors there. But if you're just by yourself and don't really, you know, care about other people, it can be kind of hard. But if you're cool and you're genuine with people, then yeah, Madison's great to play in.
So we played one of the songs that you had sent, and you have 2 albums? Or how many albums
I
you got?
have, let's see.
Because you're on Bandcamp.
I'm on Bandcamp. I have 3 albums and then I think like a single, but there are 3 albums currently on Bandcamp.
Awesome. So tell us about those. How did they come to be? Were they all through Gemini or?
The last one was through Gemini Studios. The first 2 I recorded in my friend Dan's basement. That's Daniel Monson-Burgum, who was part of Pancake Riot, and he releases music under the name The Fur Trade. He's super talented, great producer. We did all of that in his basement, and basically my albums are like chapters of my life, kind of, and they all kind of have a theme. Like the first one was all about like secrets or like stuff that was hard to talk about, and then the second one was about, you know, finding yourself and finding home. Like my first song, The Way Home, was the lead track off of there, and the last album was basically chronicling me moving to Tennessee and feeling a bunch of feelings and then moving back.
Awesome.
So little snippets of my life, basically.
And do you have one in the works?
One in the works.
Ooh, so talk about
So
that,
excited.
because you did say we'll talk about
I
that.
did.
So we're up
Yeah.
to that point.
Yeah. This latest album is called Guilt Trip, and 3 of the songs I've recorded at Gemini Music Studios, and then the other 3 songs I've recorded with my friend Ryan Thomas, who's a student up at UW Oshkosh. So he's like, hey, free recording, and I'm like, hell yeah. So
Awesome.
the music department there is really nice, and he really took care of me and did some songs there, and then everything's going to be mastered at Gemini, and recording process is almost done, and hopefully early next year we'll get it out.
Cool. So what does that look like when you record music and you go and you lay down these tracks and they're mixed and mastered? Are they then sent to you to release as the artist, or are you going through another something to release it?
Usually I've released it myself, and plan to keep doing it that way. The first 2 albums were very DIY and like CD wise. We put those together ourselves basically, and it's good. I'd like to, you know, maybe at least with the physical production of CDs, I'd like to go through a local company. Maybe like I've heard Super Duper is a really good company to use for like duplication, but usually I just release music myself on Bandcamp. That's what I'm used to doing, and I'm hard to break with my habits, so.
Hey, that's a good habit to have.
Yeah.
Doing it yourself is important.
Yeah.
So, with this next, hopefully, you know, early next year album coming out, do you plan on having like a CD release show?
I would love to, because we had a big like release party for my last album, Misadventures, and that was great. I had Cat and Hurricane play with me, and it was really awesome, and I would love to repeat something similar to that. But I learned from the last album, because with the last album we kind of were crunched on time, and a lot of things didn't happen quite the way I had planned. So for this album, I'm just kind of taking it easy, loosey-goosey, and when it happens, it happens. But I'm still trying to, you know, get people excited about it, which it has worked so far. So nothing is set in stone, but I have very high hopes.
How many songs? Excuse me. How many songs will this new album be?
This song will have 6 songs. Album will have 6 songs.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very neat.
And I played 2 of those tonight,
Mm-hmm.
so
New music.
got a little taste.
So is it tomorrow or Saturday
For our
that you're in
show-
Chicago?
Saturday, yeah, I'll be in Chicago at Lily's with Cat and Hurricane, and they're playing with me and then also playing their own set. And there's a couple other bands, so I'm pretty excited about that.
What else do you have in the works?
Just trying to finish up the album. Next week I'm singing the national anthem at a Janesville Jets hockey game, so that'll be
That's super
interesting.
cool.
I haven't sang that about a decade, so we'll see how that goes. I'm playing a songwriter circle in Evansville on the 20th of this month, And then December 27th, I'm playing this thing called Minami Fest at the Miramar Theater in Milwaukee.
Ooh.
So that's going to be interesting. I'm selling tickets for that. So if you guys want in on that, message me. It's like a showcase of visual artists and musicians, and I got asked to do it. So
Cool.
I'm excited about that.
That's
And then,
cool.
Yeah, I'm also in a one-act play that's going to be next month. So do a little bit of everything. I'm tired. I'm crazy. I'm manic. I'm just doing everything. But I'm having fun.
Do you
so.
want a break?
I will need one eventually, but we're just running on as much steam as we can do for now.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like an opportunity, it seems like once a week to be able to catch you out.
Yeah, that never happens, so I'm just trying to
Is this
hold on.
You got it, girl. You got it. Go get it. But talk about, Minami Fest and how people can get those tickets, times, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so Minami Fest, it's December 27th. It starts at 7. It's at the Miramar Theater, which I've never played, so I'm pretty excited. I was basically asked to be a part of that through a company called Bridging the Music, and you can go to bridgingthemusic.com and find the tickets on there. I think if you go on the Miramar website, it sends you a link to that. But I'm on Facebook. You can go to Candace Griffin Music on Facebook and message me about Minami Fest, and I will send you links and tell you what to do. And or if you want physical tickets and you're nearby and you're like, hey, give me a physical ticket, I'll figure that out too. So
Cool.
yeah.
Very awesome.
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all the things.
Are you going to bring them to the show in Chicago to sell?
Yeah, planning on it.
Good.
Planning on it. So Chicago, hi.
Yay! Yeah, and we dropped your stuff into some Chicago DIY stuff,
Oh,
so
thank
that
you. Thank you.
it helps boost awareness of who you are. But that being said, where can people find you on the World Wide Web?
World Wide Web. Well, all the music is on CandaceGriffin.bandcamp.com, and you can find me on Candace Griffin Music on Facebook, and then Candace G Music on Twitter and Instagram.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. Mostly when I do YouTube stuff, it's mainly covers, but occasionally you'll find some original stuff on there. I've had the YouTube for a long time, so it's a very interesting, embarrassing timeline of me. So
That can be another chapter album, right?
Yeah.
My life as a video.
My cringy existence.
No. Make you do mirror time. You have to stand in front of a mirror and say good things. It's a rule. So as far as merch goes, you gave us stickers, but what other merchandise do you have?
That's really it. Hopefully when I get this new album done, I'll get some CDs, and I would like to build up my CD collection for my previous albums, because I'm all out. And that's really it. Stickers and CDs.
Stickers and CDs.
Yeah.
So if you're watching, paying attention, you want tickets, you want stickers, you have CDs, because we can shoot her a message and then she'll go, oh, I have to buy a CD and make one. But get in touch with Candace and go see her with Cat and the Hurricane in Chicago on Saturday. And then again, you can catch her Evanston, right?
Evansville.
Evansville, sorry. And then at the Miramar on the 27th. And then in January, performing, right?
Watch me in a play in Janesville, yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say to our viewing audience?
Thanks. You're all cool. And thank you.
Well, thank you. With that, we will leave you for this evening, and you can catch us next week. We have Conway on the show. And then on the 15th, we have our Ugly Sweater Party with Would You Kindly at Union Park. And to close the month of December. And this year is Just the Sky Kid. On the 19th, you can catch Nate Funk from California. So without further ado, we bid you farewell, and toodaloo, buckaroo. Okay, thanks, bye!